JSE General Manager André Visser says they're proposing changes to the listing requirements. This after the Erin Energy, Ayo Technology and Sagarmatha deals came under scrutiny. Visser has been testifying at the PIC Commission of Inquiry today. For more on this, our business reporter Heidi Jokas, who's there, joins us now in studio. So Heidi, of course, JSE in the hot seat today. Any word on the investigation into Ayo? Because we all want to know what's happening with that.
And the reason why you all want to know what is actually happening with this is because Ayo has been implicated throughout this Commission of Inquiry. We heard from the former CFO of Ayo, where there's been allegations that there was tampering with the interim results of Ayo Technology Solutions. But I must say there wasn't much that was touched on in terms of any new information. They went to the Commission today because they needed to explain how the listing works, the listing requirements of various companies, but specifically focusing on two companies, Ayo Technology as well as Sagarmatha, both linked to Iqbal Survey. Ayo was brought into the spotlight because many had speculated that it was overvalued. It listed way too quickly. It listed at a time where everybody was supposed to be on holiday. And then the Sagarmatha deal comes in because the JSE pulled out at the very last minute. They were supposed to list on the JSE, and Iqbal Survey, when he testified, he said that the reason why the JSE pulled out at the last minute was because of all the media reports around that specific company. However, the JSE has made it very clear that that is not the case. So today, they just set the grounds in terms of how things work, and they also made mention of the fact that they need to tighten up their listing requirements because everything that is being brought up in this commission, they have also been brought into the spotlight in terms of how they deal with companies that perhaps shouldn't have listed or were overvalued or were misinterpreted. Let's just listen to what Visser had to say about that.
With the exception of Erin, we haven't had enough time to look at it specifically. If you look at Sagarmatha, we approved the pre-listing statement in March 2018, and the process started in around about October 2017. That would be in line with a normal type of approval process. What I would say is there were a number of submissions and a number of inquiries the JSE had on the Sagarmatha listing. In respect of the Ayo listing, it certainly took place in a much shorter space of time, but I cannot say that it was based on any pressure to get something done quicker.
Yeah, I think the question that I'm asking is not just the question of the timeline, but whether you were comfortable that you had the time to do all the work that needed to be done.
Through Mr. Commissioner, absolutely. The JSE took its time to look at all the facts and all the information and only granted its approval for the relevant documentation once we were satisfied with all the information.
Another big investment into Erin Energy raised. It seems the PIC can't show the paper trail for its multi-million rand investment.
Exactly, and this is another investment that I think is a really big one, but not many people know about this. But the PIC got into a deal into this oil company called Erin Energy of $270 million, and that amounts to billions if you convert it to rands. But today the Commission actually heard about how the PIC is struggling to find documentation when it comes to this specific transaction. And the reason why it was also brought up when the JSE was there is because those shares have actually been suspended on the JSE because this company has basically been bankrupt. They've claimed insolvency. They don't have money to carry on. Last week we heard from a person very close to that deal basically saying how the PIC decided to invest into Erin Energy despite the major red flags that this company was insolvent. Now you hear from the evidence leader who tells the Commission of Inquiry that the PIC has no paper trail. It has nothing to show why it invested into this company, where that money went to, and actually how much went into it, because they say it's $270 million, but there's always transaction fees involved and various amounts that could have pushed it more. So the PIC could have lost billions with this specific transaction, also because people aren't able to transact on this specific company because it's been suspended on the JSE.
I believe we have a soundbite for this, so let's take a listen.
I suspect if I looked at the numbers, and I haven't done the complete analysis, but in my opinion, they probably would still have qualified for listing, despite the capital injection. In my opinion, though, I think the company would have had serious liquidity constraints had it not been for the injection of the capital by the PIC.
All right, we'll have to leave it right there. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for that, Heidi Jokas.